Hey there, welcome to ATL and 29, a podcast that looks at the NBA from the starting point of Atlanta. My name is Kevin Chenard. I am here with Tyler Jones, and we are recording, I don't know, maybe an hour after the end of the first round of the draft. And Tyler was at the Hawks draft party. How was State Farm Arena tonight?
It was a nice crowd. Again, the food is way overpriced. Food and the drinks are way overpriced at State Farm Arena.
Yeah.
I need,
Some Mercedes-Benz
yeah,
experiences.
yeah, I need to get on that Arthur Blank plan. So they get the memo with how this World Cup is going. That you sell food for cheaper, more people will buy it, and you'll make more money. But what do I know? I'm just, I've been working in finance for over, well, damn near 12 years now. So I don't profit margins and things like that. But anyway, yeah, but other than that, it was a good environment. Good to see, Hawks fans showing out. And like yeah, I don't know about you, Kevin. I thought the Hawks had a great draft. Just overall, nothing too fancy. I think they probably feel like they took the best players available at both 8 and 23. I find I'm I find it too hard to disagree with that. I really like Flemings in particular, and I think I don't know who said it, but even Bob brought it up that fundamentally all the auxiliary stuff that Flemings brings. I think the best thing that Flemings has right now is that he doesn't need a ball screen to get to the paint, right? And
Onsi
so
said it.
yeah. I mean, multiple people have said it. And like that's just scout on him. Like he's so fast, doesn't need a ball screen to get 2 feet into the paint. And then from there, I think Ozzy was like, he makes good decisions once he's there. So, like, to me, uh, it's a clear, beyond just the weakness aspect. I thought Flemings was the best player available at 8. He's just, I've talked about it multiple times. Like, he's an elite athlete. The only thing he doesn't have is weight right now. Like I think that can come in time. I don't know if he'll ever get to 200 pounds, but I do think he can add a little bit more to his frame as it is right now as he gets older. But and he's in a good environment. Like the Hawks don't need him right now, but I think long term, the fit next to Jalen and Dyson in particular, I think is going to be fantastic. He gives this Hawks team an element they didn't have last year once Trey was out of the picture. So, um, great pickup with Flemings.
Yeah, one of the things that Onsi was talking about in his media availability, in addition to the creation aspect, is that it's going to be a different world of space at the NBA level for him that he didn't get to experience in college, partly because it was college, but I think also, what Houston's offense was. Like he didn't have a certain level of space. And so that translated to, I think, maybe a little bit more mid-range attempts. I think he's going to have a chance to get further into the paint at the NBA level just because it's just not going to be as crowded. Defenders are going to be coming from further away, and he's just so fast that he's going to get there before they do a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I think the reads are going to be easier
That too.
just because it's a bigger floor as well, and combined with his speed, like I think he's going to get a lot of simple stuff where okay, just it's going to be an easy one dribble, or he's already at the front of the rim for either a layup or a dish off. Uh, and like I I I mean, to me, you know, he played for an offense that wasn't particularly fun to watch, right? Like they basically ran they were basically the Houston Cougars are basically the Houston Rockets. defense. Like he really didn't have any shooting anywhere on the rock. Like he was their best shooter. He was the best pull-up shooter. He was their best offensive creator. And at the same time, this was going to be a good Houston team. Like it was a veteran team full of veteran guys who uh, expect to win every night. And he took the creation role from a decent prospect from a decent like guy who's probably going to get drafted in the second round, but he did it because he was better. And Kevin Sampson, like he doesn't give minutes to guys, like you got to earn it. And I thought Flemings kind of showed himself to be the team's best player, the driver. That he made their offense work in spite of the fact that he played with two bigs that couldn't really shoot, zero creation, had to be set up for everything that they did, and they both played at the same time. They played big at the same time, two bigs at the same time to offensive rebound, to win the possession battle that way. They were a defense first, offensive rebounding team, possession winners. That's how you build a good team. But like I thought Fleming's offense was really hurt by that. And also like Kevin Sampson's very old school coach, conservative, probably didn't discourage it's one of those things where he didn't discourage Flemings from taking pull up 3-pointers or open 3-pointers. What he more wanted and what he needed from Flemings was to get 2 feet in the paint every possession. He needed him to cause havoc, to cause rotations, so that they can be either he creates a shot for himself that's good, or he creates a opportunity in the lane for his bigs, or he creates an open 3-point shooter for somebody else. Like he had to do that. And so I think on an NBA floor, on a Hawks team that doesn't necessarily need that from him in particular, they kind of just need they need his ability to drive, but they don't necessarily need him to be the fulcrum of the offense. He can be a part of the offense. I think that especially early in his career will help grow his game, get his 3-point attempt rate up, get his free throw rate up as well a little bit if he, once he learns a little bit more craft offensively. But like, if you're a Hawks fan, you should be excited for him. Like to me, he had been one of the 6 best players in his draft class, and he fell to 8. And so like the Hawks are lucky to have him.
What do you think of him at the defensive level? Because to me, when you look at like the top 8 picks in the draft, I feel like there's some defensive question marks. Like other than Caleb Wilson and Cam Boozer, like those two guys, are going to kind of hold up defensively. Other than those two, I feel like Kingston Flemings is maybe one of the surer bets on defense. Is that a fair assessment, or am I stretching it too far?
I mean, him and Darren Peterson. Peterson was unbelievable defensively, even in
Okay.
spite of all his issues. He's bare minimum. Like he's going to be a good defender. And like he's just so overwhelmingly athletic at the position. But Flemings, look, I thought the spreadsheets rate him as a good defender. And like because I ended up watching a lot of his games just because of how like he was just way too productive. I had to watch his games. And again, his offense tailed off towards the end of the year, good overall. The defense never took a play off. Like he competes. He, man, I forget which game I watched where he just blew up possession after possession after possession, both on and off ball, was just hungry to take away the other team, what the other team wanted to do. Like just like couldn't be screened, wouldn't allow his man to dribble if he had a weak handle, contesting everything, uh, getting deflections, getting steals. To me, like the strength at the point of attack is probably going to be a concern early in his career, but I think he's going to get there. And like I think even all like this short, he's a small guard, quote unquote, but like he's not going to get that moniker in the league because he's going to be good defensively. regardless of what, whether he's on or off ball. Like he's just too productive. He's too smart as well. Like he combines elite athleticism with great IQ defensively, both on and off the ball. And that's on this Hawks team with Nikhil Alexander Walker and Dyson Daniels, I think he's going to be another like massive problem for teams trying to score on the perimeter against the Hawks. And so like he's going to be a boost for them on that side of the floor. I don't think he's not Kason Wallace because Kason's just physically more gifted, but I do think he's going to have the two-way impact that um that I think like too many people on online and maybe and even offline a little bit put too much stock into how his combine was, the neutral wingspan and the being under 185 pounds. But like you watch the film, like he was just flat out a good defender. Like he just flat out a good defender. And I think that's going to translate to the NBA pretty much immediately, just because like, especially against second units, I just think his athleticism is just going to overwhelm a lot of second unit guards. And I think you pair him next to Dyson or Nikhil, it's going to be magic defensively. Like he's just going to be additive to what those two already do on that side of the floor.
Yeah, maybe this is maybe a little too inside baseball, but one of the things that we have done on this podcast is sometimes not every episode makes it to air. So we had an episode a while back that didn't make it to air, and one of the things that I think I said, I think it was in that podcast, so hopefully I'm not repeating myself with an episode that actually did air. But one of the things that I was saying there is like I don't think it's rare because you wouldn't expect it, but like I don't really worry about his size on defense. And I don't really worry about it that much on offense because of his speed. The one aspect where I think I'm a little bit worried about it was just, let's say you do play him off of a screen, like if he's in a screening action and you hedge or you blitz, like the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about his size coming into play is that if you sort of overwhelm him with length with more than one body, at that point, you've got to be really crafty about how you put your passes in at that point. And you got to have like every pass in your bag. Like I trust him as a decision maker based on what I've seen from him in college, but like it's just a different level at the NBA where the size is going to be and the athleticism is going to be a little bit different. And so the one area where I worry about his size a little bit is just his passing against very aggressive defenses where you've got to have every level of pass from the side, from the top, from every kind of angle with both hands when the size gets really, really big because the passing angles go away quickly at the NBA level if you're not careful.
Maybe. That's hard. I think it depends on the team that you're playing and the caliber of big that's doing that. And also, like with experience, like guards tend to figure stuff out like that. But I don't think he's has to worry about that early in his career. Teams probably aren't going to, trap or double him up the floor just because, especially on this Hawks team with the caliber of bigs that they have. Like you really open yourself up to getting dunked on doing stuff like that. So like I don't really know if that's going to be too big of a concern. But I mean I hear you at the same time. I'm looking at his elite assist to turnover ratio. Like he didn't turn the ball over,
He
in
didn't.
college. And like I'm like I don't he didn't turn it over on that Houston team with that level of like lack of creation.
Yeah.
Like there was no creation outside of him, and
Yep.
you know, and he got nothing from his bigs, like no creation offloading from his bigs. Like that is not an issue he's going to run into with the Hawks. Like the Hawks play through their centers and their power forwards,
That's right.
and he's going to set screens. He's going to dive. He's going to slip. Like he's going to play a lot of inverted action. So he's going to do some different stuff, but I think he's going to be able to do it. just because one he has the want to, like he plays physical, fully understanding like he's not a big guy, but he plays with his physicality. He
Yes, he
plays
does.
with physicality. So I don't think I'd worry about him being a bad screener. Actually think he's going to be pretty good at it, and he's going to play hard. And what I'm more concerned about is the 3 point volume. Like he's got to get his 3 point attempt rate way up. He's got to take pull up threes. He's got to look to take pull up threes more often, even almost just as important. Like it's got to be something in his toolbox. Like he can't just rely. Like he has a great mid range game, but he can't just have that because that's going to limit his ceiling. Like if he wants to be a true he had a great piece in the Players Tribune, and at the end he said one of his goals is to be a Hall of Famer. If he wants to be a Hall of Famer in this league, he's got to take away more threes than what he did in college. Like just flat out, like he's got to be. And I think he has the jump shot to do it. Like he gets great rise on his jumper. And he does it even from the 3 point line as well. So, like to me, it's just about repetition, like getting into a rhythm, getting into your spots where you want to shoot on the floor, and just having, just if the read is to take if the defender goes under a ball screen, it's an automatic pull up. Like we don't hesitate. We're not looking for anything else like that. That's just how the NBA game is played today. So like he gets that into his game, and again gets to the free throw line a little bit more with more craft. I think he has a chance to be an All NBA caliber player. Like I really do believe that, just because of what I saw in college, considering both his age, the team he played for, and the coach he played for. Like you know, again, Kevin Sampson is a Hall of Fame basketball coach. He's not one of these guys who gives players stuff. Like Chris Sinak, who was also like an elite prospect coming into college. He basically was just a junk man because he hadn't earned anything else. Like he didn't earn anything else, and he was losing playing time to JoJo Tugler and their backup big as well. Sometimes just if Sinak wasn't playing well, like so, like to me, Flemings on the other hand, he played as much as often as Sampson wanted. He basically played every game. Averaged 32 minutes a night. As a true freshman playing for a team full of juniors and seniors. So I think I would not be terribly concerned about anything about Flemings. I think the sky really is the limit with him. I the Maxi parallels considering his speed. He really reminds me of Maxi in terms of just his speed with the ball in his hands. And I think he's going to be able to leverage that as long as he's able to add that 3 point shot. Once he does that, I think we're talking about somebody who's going to make multiple All-Star teams, multiple All NBA teams, if he can do that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you that that's the bigger if. I just meant before, like, what's the biggest question for him size wise?
I think it's going to, I say he's going to be good defensively, but like if he wants to be an elite one, he has to be good at the point of attack. And you did see on film sometimes bigger guards were able to get to their spots just going through him. You know, that's just the reality situation. So he's got to play better angles. He's got to play the ball better. Something that can be worked on. And I think he has good technique overall.
Mhm.
Just, can he play stronger, you know, initial contact? Can he knock guys back? Can he beat them to their spots, take away their power? That's another way to play good point of attack defense. So like that's really more of a concern for me overall. Is just his physical strength. Like it shows up in his finishing. He gets contact, he gets off balance, and now he's throwing up these wild layups. Like he's got to clean up his rim attempts because he's not good enough uh, right now scoring at the rim consistent. Like he needs to be a better rim finisher. Considering his athleticism, he should finish way better at the rim. I think he can get there, but he's got to get stronger overall. Like that's really more of a concern with me. And 19-year-old, like I don't know how his body's going to develop in the next 2 or 3 years, but I know he's going to put in the work.
What did you think of the Hawks picking Zuby Ejiofor?
So I like Zuby. I like the process of it in the sense that, they didn't reach for a center, just because they took a guard, took a guard. They took he's a combo big, so he plays both power forward and center. We'll see if he shoots it. He didn't shoot that many threes in college, but uh, he's very skilled with the ball in his hands. And like the first thing that I noticed is also similar to Fleming's, honestly, is his speed. Like he's for a big, he is very fast, particularly with the ball in his hands, and he's a very good downhill physical driver. And like he will blow by bigs, and he'll blow by even guards or forwards. Like if they're leaning one way or the other, he's very good at one dribble. I'm at the front of the rim now. Very explosive. And he's like, to me, I just the speed and athleticism pops off the screen with him. And I think he adds some much needed size and physicality compared to, I love Mo Gay, but like you compare him to Mo, it's not close in terms of like physicality. For all of the strengths that Mo has defensively, his inability to play the center was the difference in the series with the Knicks. Like he could not play center at all. Then his offense was bad at the power forward position. And so it's like we're getting hit with a double negative here with Mo. Zuby, I think, is a natural progression of what Quinn wants from that swing big, the guy who can play both spots, has the size to play both spots, but also more offensive skill. And just flat out Zuby's ability to drive, to post up smaller players in particular, and to finish at the rim and finish above the rim, uh, and be able to play through contact due to his physical frame and his BMI that he has. Like I think that's going to be additive to what the Hawks, where they're trying to go, from being kind of soft team, finesse team to more physical defensive team that really punishes teams for being soft on the defensive end. Like you switch a small on a Zuby, it's 2 points. I think he can do that even right now just because of the ball skills that he has. Be honest, if a Kongu um had Zuby's ability to drive, consistently at the rim, the way you watch some of the tape with Zuby, Kongu would be an all-star multi-time now at this point. And so like I wonder if I'm not saying Okongwu. I think Okongwu is going to be starting next year, but I'm just saying I think this is a good reminder for Onyeka that hey, there's still there's still another level that you can get to as a player, and like this is a good example of it in Zuby, and just being able to consistently drive to the front of the rim. Okongwu was good driving, but it was relatively infrequent. And I think Zuby adds an element, and like maybe that'll get Okongwu to really focus on, especially considering Okongwu's ability to shoot. Like if he can, if just an aside, if Okongwu can really add a driving element to his game, like I think the sky's the limit for him still. But I do think in the interim, just having again somebody of Zuby's skill on offense combined with his defense, which is great. Like he's a great defender, everything, but unfortunately he's fairly mediocre defensive rebounder. I think part of that might be scheme with St. John's, but also he's not the biggest guy. He's 6'7", has a great wingspan, but like he's probably going to be more of a box out guy relative to and it's going to require the other guys to grab the rebound, high point the ball while he's boxing out his man. But like he's great at everything else defensively, like good weak side rim protector, good strong side rim protector, honestly. Can really actually guard 1 through 5. Great. I think that's probably his best skill. Very similar to Colin Murray Walls in that way, in that I think he has a chance to really be a freak of nature on that end of the floor where it doesn't matter what his position is defensively, just because he can kind of do everything, guard anybody, and like another good defender for this Hawks team. that I think it's pretty clear the Hawks want to be a more defensive oriented team that wins possession battles. And by the way, like he's a great offensive rebounder. So like I think he helps. Like I can envision a lot of lines featuring him and Asa Newell. Like I think that's a nice pairing. It takes the pressure off of Asa Newell to box out or go up against the stronger player. And now he can kind of be in a Jalen Johnson role of just high pointing the ball, having a little bit of freedom there. I think those lineups should be able to rebound while on the offensive end with Asa shooting and really everything Asa does offensively. I think and Zuby's like a pretty good passer as well. Like I think those two can make a great like good pairing going forward. But we'll see what the Hawks do in free agency. I wouldn't expect Zuby to be in the rotation, uh, but to me, fully understanding Moge is a good NBA player. Like I think Zuby is an upgrade theoretically over what the Hawks had been getting from Moge, and even to a certain extent Asa Newell. But I think Asa was just he was asked to do something everybody in the building knew he couldn't do, which was play center. I think Zuby is better at being able to play center just due to his functional strength and length, combined with also being able to play power forward next to a combo. Like I think you can do that. Whereas Mo, he could play next to a Kongu, but he couldn't really benefit from that offensively playing next to a Kongu, even though a Kongu is one of the elite, spacing centers in the game. It kind of turned into teams put their center on Mo Gay, and now Kongu's just a good stretch four, which is fine, but you're not really getting that. You're not really getting any boost on offense. Now with Zuby, just his ability to create offense off the dribble. Uh, I think that's a nice pairing with the Kongu. That's again in theory, it could turn out that he doesn't have whatever he needs, but just based on what I've seen, I think he does. I think he has the athleticism. The athleticism to me pops off the screen, combined with just his natural physique. Like I think he's going to be really good for the Hawks going forward.
Yeah, that last point you made about the Okongwu gay pairing is a really good one, I think. I would not be shocked if, whether it's Landale or someone else, like the Hawks might still add two centers between now and when the season starts.
Yeah,
And, Zuby spends the season basically in College Park. But again, speaking to sort of the uh, theoretical version of what he might be able to do you think he will be able to operate as a passer out sort of at the 3-point line the way a Kongwu can?
I mean it's what he did at St. John's last year. Now he only has the thing. Let me just make sure I got this correct. So I'm looking at sports reference page. Yeah, the thing about him is that he made a massive jump as a passer. But that was his senior year. Like before
Yep.
then, he was pretty much a standard, center. Not terrible at passing, but not, great. Honestly, he had a, fairly high turnover percentage compared to assists. His final year, he became a very good passer. And the turnovers were still okay, but he was more of a creation big. So if he's the guy he was at St. John's his senior year as a passer, he's a perfect fit in the Hawks scheme because he makes the right reads. He knows what to do in the ball in his hands, doesn't force it. And so, like, I think he'd be perfectly fine in the Hawks system where the bigs have to make quick decisions and get from point A to point B quickly. I think he's going to be able to do that no problem. But again, he only has 1 year of doing that in his playing career. And I think the G League would be good for him just to to fine tune some of his decision making skills. But I think again, this is theoretical with him. He should be able to fit what the Hawks want to do on that side of the floor as well.
what do you make of, I think it was Jake Fisher who tweeted it, and I think he tweeted it about both of the Hawks picks, that the Hawks were taking calls at 8 and the Hawks were taking calls at 23. Is that just good process?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Hawks didn't leak what their board was or what they wanted to do. Uh, and so like I think it kept teams guessing on what the Hawks might do. Now I think towards the end, the Intel guys, while they didn't have hard evidence, I think context clues kind of clued them in on what they wanted to do with which was a point guard. And they looked at it and they were like, well, the best we Kingston Flemings is the best guard that's going to be available at 8. We're going to assume if the Hawks are taking best player available, they're going to take Kingston Flemings. And so, like, I think a lot of guys, a lot of smarter draft boards kind of had that peg pretty quickly. And ultimately, I don't think the offers were there. Like, I think if a team was to give a Hawks a similar package to what they got in last year's draft, maybe something would have happened. But uh, to me, I think the Hawks really wanted to pair. They really want to get a guard in this draft who could take the pressure off of Jalen Johnson long term going forward. Like they needed for all the good that Jalen did do, and this team did. Like it was readily apparent that the Hawks didn't play any pick and roll, and not being able to play pick and roll absolutely hurt them in the playoffs. Like it absolutely hurt their inability to have a guard who could pass the ball to the big once they set a screen and roll to the rim, limited to what the Hawks could do offensively. And like it got them burnt. And so like I think they saw that. They were like, okay, we need to take some pressure off of Jalen as a creator. Uh, and combined with again, regardless of position, I thought Flemings was just by far the best player available there at 8. But my point being, they needed to be overwhelmed with a package to move them off that spot as long as somebody they felt who could help them there at 8 was going to be there at 8. So I think that's what they did there. And I think at 23, they saw an opportunity to upgrade a position. I think they looked at Mo Gay as somebody who's good, but who they could probably potentially upgrade in this draft class. And I think they found that they didn't, and like I said, they didn't make a rash decision, be like, all right, we're going to reach for a center or we're going to reach for a bigger, basketball player, quote unquote rim protector. I think the Hawks have a good idea of like, hey, we'll get that in free agency or we'll get that in trades coming in the next couple of days or weeks here. We're not gonna we're not gonna rush. We're not gonna reach at 23 for something that's not there. Like this was a fairly weak big class overall outside of Mara, really, in terms of like defensive centers, and so like I think the Hawks are like, okay, Zuby is really good defensively. He has some flaws in the fact that he's just not that big, but outside of that, he was very good defensively. He's been very good for the majority of his college career. We think he's additive to what we're trying to build here going forward, and we're going to need a replacement for Mo Gay. Like remember, Mo's this is final year of his contract. They may or may not re-sign him. Like they may prefer to go somewhere else with the position, considering the fact that if you look at the Hawks roster right now, if Kuminga is still going to be on the team, because Kuminga wasn't traded. If Kuminga wasn't traded today, he's probably going to be on the team, unless they get a deal. Just because the opportunity cost, like there's no point in declining the player option considering they already paid CJ McCollum. Like the cap space is not there. They didn't move Kispert. They didn't move Reese Shea. So it's just like, okay, they didn't sell they didn't sell 23 to open up cap space. That tells you something that, hey, they're probably going to go forward with the team that they have with these guys. And so like I could see Mo being the odd man out here to free up roster spots for maybe a guard or a center, a rim protected center that will play behind a column. So I think Mo's kind of in trouble here, even though again he had a great year. He's been great for the Hawks in his role, but Quinn is always having to pull teeth when he's out there. It just feels like he's never been comfortable playing Mo. This has been true the entirety of his career, and they've given Quinn a lot of money going forward these next couple of years. And I think this team's going to be built more on what Quinn wants to do, even in the back end of his rotation. So um, I I'm not saying Mo's not going to be on the team, but I'm just preparing people that hey, Zuby is a natural replacement for him. He's probably going to be cheaper going forward. Like Mo has earned himself a real NBA contract. Like there are teams that could use Mo Gay, absolutely. It's just that the Hawks probably aren't might not be that team going forward, even though he's been so good for them.
Yeah, when the Hawks picked Zuby at 23, yeah, I was like, well, this is the best outcome that the Hawks really could have gotten at 23, unless they could have stapled number 23 to Corey Kispert's contract and sent it away. Like, would not that that was available to them, but if you had to pick between Ejiofor and getting Kispert's contract off, what would you pick?
Uh, Ejiofor, yeah, not that Kispert. Like if they really want Kispert gone, just stretch and waive him. Like I'm not a fan of attaching picks unless you're getting a player back in return. And I don't think the Hawks were going to get a player back in return. So there's no point in doing that. I honestly, I think Kispert's going to be back next season. I think Reese probably not going to be on the team, just based on just based on what the Hawks have done. Like I don't think Reese is going to be in the plans going forward. Like if the season were to start today, he's not playing a single second of basketball. Like Wiggins is just better than him. And so like where's Reese going to play? Uh, and so like that's kind of it. So like I just think going forward it'll be I think Ricochet is going to be the odd man out here, and we'll see what the Hawks get for him.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate you taking the time to do this very late on a draft night, and we'll have to see how number 57 goes tomorrow. All right, then. Good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob.